Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. We have podcast 204 on this wonderful Friday, and it is a scenario question someone sent in. It looks like an interesting one. And remember, if you have a question, scenario, or any other kind of question, send it to support@michaelquarles.com. We'll get it on one of these podcasts and help. So here we go. It starts out at saying or reading, I am working with a seller who's looking to sell her 6 family properties that she's living in. She wants to purchase a 2-family house where she can occupy one of the units. Assuming the 6-family property is sold for $1,500,000 and she purchases 2 family houses for $750,000, can she use a 1031 exchange or go from the 6 to the 2? If she agrees to the seller finance part of the transaction to defer the tax on the cash she would otherwise receive, can she use a combination of 1031, 121, and installment sale? I'm trying to help the seller with the best possible structure that would work for both of us. Boy, this is a legal question. This is so touchy. I would hate to give advice on this one. I am going to suggest that you contact someone like First American Title, Fidelity National Title. Ask if they have a 1031 administrator that they can refer you to. Find that person. Don't just ask a realtor. Keep in mind, I'm a broker. I would not want to give you advice in this arena, but I think you need the advice. So I'm going to suggest you call an expert in 1031s who can legally give you that advice, because I think it's important. What I'm seeing inside of your question is I'm wondering if she truly needs to do a 1031 and they're going to absolutely say yes or no. Now, it may be such that she has commingled her asset from a personal perspective and from a business perspective, that they may need to refer you to an attorney, or they may need to call their attorney service and ask them the question to define that answer more clearly for you. However, anybody that you ask this question of and gives you an answer, make certain they are absolutely capable of answering the question legally for you. The other question I have for you is this truly is this in your business model? Is this something that you're trying to create as a business for the consumer out there that has the multiple units or the business units, and they want to convert them in 1031s, or did you just find this and it just happens to be something you want to work on? Because I'll caution you that if you want to become an expert at 1031s, you can do that. And those folks do very well, because there's a lot of absentees who have business assets that need 1031 exchanges. And if you become that expert in your local marketplace, man, I'm gonna commend you. When you have that expert title, I'm going to invite you onto my podcast so I can ask you and grill you all those expert-only kinds of questions. But until you become that expert, be very conscientious of thinking or wanting to have an exclusive only 1031 investment business. I think that would be a great thing for a lot of folks who are very analytical, very nurturing, because I think you have to have both those skill sets. So you have to be very nurturing to be able to communicate with people and build those relationships. But you also have to be analytical from a perspective of how do you solve their problem. But if you become that expert, boy, let me know. Raise your hand. Tell me, Mike, I am now that expert, so I can grill you and get those expert answers. Because the 1031 world is so specific and so uncommon from a layperson's perspective that you just have to be that expert if you're gonna seek advice or give advice. And although I know a considerable amount about 1031s, and off air I could answer your question, I don't want to answer the question on air, if that makes any sense. And I'm not trying to scapegoat giving you the answer. I just don't want to lead folks down the wrong path when I think that this is one of those questions and arenas where they really have to have someone in their center of influence that they can call upon if they're going to do 1031s. And again, I would research it greater than a realtor or broker, although a lot of realtors and brokers can help you and guide you down that process. I would start again at the title companies. A lot of the major ones have that 1031 administrator or that service that they supply. And I'd ask them, because you do 10 reverse exchanges, you can do regular exchanges, you can exchange from, and I'm not answering any questions, I'm just telling you what you might be able to do. You can do exchanges as long as it's a business asset, so you can go from real property to possibly another income producing type of property, not necessarily real. So there are a lot of arenas that you can help a seller exchange their capital in, and they just need to at some point because they've depreciated the capital, their assets so much that it's no longer an advantage to them. So they have to go into something else. And when we start marketing to the absentee owner, if we truly wanted to be that 1031 exchange expert, then we would start marketing to the absentee owner at a certain age of ownership. And you may want to meet with a CPA, certified public accountant, not a bookkeeper, not H&R Block, although H&R Block I'm sure is good. However, you may want to meet with a CPA and quiz them on the rules of depreciation from a real property perspective, from the culture of that tax write-off and that benefit, and understand and learn about boot and learn about the tax consequence. If this is truly what you want to do, and again, if it is, boy, I think that's a great thing. Income may be a little bit tight while you're learning because you're not going to have as much opportunity, because these folks that need this expert, you'll find that they want to talk to the expert. It's expert status is so required that being half of an expert won't help. So you have to be all of an expert to be able to help these people. Not that you can't, buy a house from someone or a property from someone who's going to 1031 it. I'm not saying that. You can do it all the time. I'm saying if you're going to guide people in the direction of 1031s, be very conscientious of that expert status and be that person. I would applaud you. I would commend you. I would also warn you about maybe possibly the limited income while you're getting that expert status. But fall forward. I think that this is an arena that if a professional person, someone, and if you're this person, if you like people, you just like them, you can get along with them, you can communicate with them, you like that nurturing aspect of people, and yet you're that analytical person. If this is you, and if you're breaking into real estate, or if you're in real estate, but you wanted an arena that could give you that title. Most investors, we don't care because all we want to do is buy houses and sell houses, and we don't need the title. But there's a segment of our seller pool that really needs this service from the investor's perspective. There's a lot of realtors and brokers that try to be that expert, and they go that direction so they can take a listing and sell them something else. So they get basically a 12% fee structure because they're doing two properties or close to in time to each other kind of thing. So that's why it's a benefit to a realtor. But if as an investor, again, I'm going to say I'd much rather be the investor person who's buying it, but also helping. And maybe you don't have to be the expert. Maybe you can just be the person who knows the experts, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like in the probate business where, you could be an expert in probate, but it's just as easy from what we do from an investment perspective to know the experts, to be able to have them on retainer. I remember the day that I had a probate attorney on retainer, and it was easy. I could direct my prospect to them. The prospect felt really comfortable because I was kind of living off the professionalism and the coattails of these quote unquote professionals, which they were. And that may be something you want to do. You may want to, create a relationship with a really good CPA in your city, one that is well known, the one that has the firm that looks like a law office, but they're an accountant's office or accountancy. So find that person. You may want to find an attorney for those folks, because I'm going to back up a little bit. These prospects are at a higher income level typically than normal. It's not your mom and pops, that just have a single house or 2 or 3 houses. In the 1031 world, you're dealing with very, very, wealthy individuals, but they're not at that wealth level of maybe corporate wealth where they already have their own CPAs and their own specialized accountants. So they need that guidance. So there's absolutely an arena for you if you want to do 1031s. And so you find that CPA, find that accountant, find that administrator to the 1031. Maybe find that broker, because naturally you're going to have to find them a property or direct them to. Now, if you sell them a property, great too. But learn the skill set. I think it's a great question. I wasn't able to answer it because of the type of question it was. I hope you appreciate that.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started, and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
So let me go to what kept me awake last night. So here I am, Thursday evening. I'm laying there, can't sleep. I have something that I felt like I needed to do today. And being it's Friday, I think it's a perfect time to talk about it, because we have a period in the next 2 days for a lot of us anyway, we don't have that job that's going to interfere with time. So as I was laying awake, I was in my mind, I was trying to think, how can I get someone to buy a house this weekend? What could I say? What could I do? How could I help? Here you are. I don't know you. I may know you, but probably not. I want you to go out and buy a house this weekend. If you don't buy a house this weekend, I at least want you to put yourself in a position to buy a house this weekend, or next week, or the week after. So what could you do that you haven't done before, that may be foreign to you, that may be intimidating to you, that may be outside of your skill set? And that's okay. We do a lot of things that are outside our skill set when we do them for the first time. And we have to break through that by doing it the first time. So I know this is going to sound really silly. It's going to sound super, super silly. And you're going to say, Mike, I'm not a graphic artist. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And if you're saying you don't know, you don't know. Well, you don't know. I'll say that you don't, but I know you do. I don't care how creative you are or how much you lack creativity. You can still do this. I want you to go to your computer and create a flyer. I want you to describe who you are and what you do. Now, I'll help you with this. I want you to go to yellowletters.com. If you go to the homepage, there's a little, and scroll down about halfway, there's a little box that says flyers. Open that one up, click on that thing, and look at, there's like 10 or 12 flyer examples. I want you to create something. Okay, I don't care if it's in black and white. I don't care if it's in full color. I don't care what it is. I want you to create something that describes what you do and who you are. Because when you can do that, then you can explain to people who you are and what you do. So put it to paper. You have this thing, I don't care how creative you are. It could be the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. And you just doing it and having it on your person far outweighs how ugly it is. Once you have that, I want you to go to open houses on Saturday and Sunday. I want you to be inside of houses that are either open houses because they're realtor-based or broker-based. So they're on the MLS, someone's trying to sell it for somebody else. Or they're FSBOs, for sale by owners, trying to sell their own house. I want you to have a flyer, and I want you to go in these open houses. They want to sell them. That's why they're open. They're for sale. I want you to go in there and see those houses. I want you to go in there and feel what it feels like to walk through a house. I want you to experience some of the professionalism and some of the lack of professionalism that people that are doing open houses have and walk you through. So you can describe that to a future prospect, what that felt like to you. I want you to take these flyers and hand them to those people. I don't care how ugly they are. It's about who you are. It's telling them who you are. It's what you do. Will you buy the house? I don't know. But you won't if you don't do it. I know that. I mean, football's over. What are we going to do until football season starts again? Watch basketball? Probably not. Watch baseball? I don't know. It started yet. So we got hockey, I guess. Hey, I don't even know if hockey's going. You can tell I'm a football fan. Go Denver. Did not think they were going to do it, but there they did it anyway. So go to open houses. Give them those flyers. Now, there are 2 houses on each side of that open house and 3 houses across the street, most likely. Yeah, if they're on a cul-de-sac, maybe there's only 2, one on each side. I want you to knock on those neighbors' doors. Because I know this. It's not a, I think I know it. I know it. That if you knock on 5 doors, one of those doors has enough equity to sell you their house. One of them. What are you going to ask them? Here's what you're going to say. My family and I are looking to buy a house in the neighborhood, and we're going to look at the house across the street. Is there anything about it that we should know before we go over there and think about buying it? And let the neighbor tell you. Yeah, I think it's a piece of crap. I think it's a lovely house. Start asking them about the neighborhood. What are the problems? Do you see, is there a crime issue? Is it a quiet area? Is it a lot of traffic? Is it a child area? Is it a family area? Is it an older community? Find out. Hey, by the way, are you thinking about selling, or are you tenant? Have you ever thought about buying a house? Be comfortable. Pass out the business card. Give them a business card. If you don't have business cards, give them a flyer. Okay? Give them that ugly flyer that you think is the ugliest thing you've ever seen. So, 1 thing, make a flyer. 2 things, open houses. 3 things, when you go to those open houses, see the 5 houses around it. Just talk to the neighbors before you go to the open house. Just talk to them. Ask them why the seller is selling. If you can find out that the seller is not getting a job transfer, that they're actually going to prison and they have to sell their house, wouldn't that be a benefit to you to know that? Wouldn't it be a benefit for you to know that the police department has been out to the house 3 times over the last 60 days? Wouldn't it be a benefit for you to know that the plumbing company and the air conditioning company have been there recently? Wouldn't it be a benefit to know what the neighbor is telling you about the seller that the seller won't tell you, or the agent doesn't know about the seller to tell you? And wouldn't it be a benefit if you found someone that also wants to sell? Because we know when for sale signs go up, 2 houses within that short area are also going to sell in the next 6 months. What if one of those people, one of those neighbors was one of those 2 houses, and you knocked on the door with a flyer or business cards and introduced yourself as someone who's looking to buy a house in the neighborhood? And yes, you may completely be outside of your comfort zone. Who cares? When you go to the dance in junior high and everybody's standing, all the boys are on one side, all the girls are on one side. I remember those days. Don't let yourself be in that trap, fall in that trap of going someplace and not being able to take advantage of being there. Get out on the dance floor and dance with these people. Talk to these neighbors. Talk to these for sale by owners. Talk to these open house sellers. Fourth thing I want you to do. I'm serious about this, guys. There's not any reason to listen to real estate podcasts if you're not going to get off the couch and go buy a friggin' house. Absolutely no reason to do it. It's a waste of energy. Go listen to music. Go listen to something else. Be with your family. Go do something else. Go climb a mountain. But if the real estate mountain isn't the one that you want to climb, don't keep pretending that it is. And these are really easy tasks and things that you can do. And if you like real estate, it'll be enjoyable. Fourth thing, go do something new. Go someplace that you haven't been before that can introduce you to new people. Instead of being inside of your ordinary, get into the extraordinary. Change what you do. Start meeting more people. Pass out those flyers and those business cards. So you go to this great restaurant every weekend. You take Honey Bunny with you, and you guys just have a great time. Go to a different restaurant. Meet a different waiter. Meet a different bartender. Meet a different person at the table next to you. Do something different. Have another life experience, and at the same time, meet people and tell them you buy houses for a living. I am a real estate investor first. I am that other thing that I want to stop doing second. So if you're a school teacher and you say you're a school teacher, shame on you. You are a real estate investor first. You are a school teacher second. And I clap and I appreciate you being a school teacher. But if you want to be an investor, that's who you are now. And introduce yourself to people, strange places. Now, don't do anything that's not safe. I'm not talking about things like that. But man, if you wouldn't go to the bowling alley and bowl, do you realize that when you go to the bowling alley, there are 2 lanes on each side of you, and there are 4 people in that bowling lane that are bowling, and they're going to be there for an hour next to you? You have 8 people now that you can have a relationship with and have fun. Well, I don't know if bowling's fun or not, but you can go and meet strangers, do something that's different, interact with people you've never interacted with before, and possibly find someone that either can, need to, has to, wants to, or knows someone who wants to sell a house. Well, that's a great thing. And this one's going to be a hard one for a lot of us. The next one. I know it is. I absolutely know it is. Saturday morning. Tomorrow morning, and if tomorrow's not a Saturday, if you're listening to this on a Tuesday, tomorrow morning, okay? It is what it is. You know, if you have a drive to work and you're driving for a half an hour, here's what I would do. And it's, color me stupid. Maybe, Mike, you're being stupid. I'm going to raise my hand, I'm being stupid. But here's what I want you to do. Whether it's a Saturday morning or a Tuesday or Wednesday or a Friday morning, if it's Saturday, it's easier because you don't have to do this. But if it's those other things and you're driving to work, I want you, prior to this time, pick up a car ad magazine. Go to any of the pages that have a car for sale by an individual, not by a company. I want you to go to your cell phone, type in the phone number, and as soon as it rings, hang up. Do that 5 times. So now you're in your car, you've got your Bluetooth going. Instead of listening to the radio or talk news, hit the first number. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hi, this is Michael with I Buy Houses. We're looking for 2 and 3 bedroom homes in the neighborhood and just wondering, who do you know that's planning on moving? You can hear click. You can hear some, words that you don't want to hear coming back at you. But you could also hear, we're thinking about selling. Yeah, we've been trying to sell our car. We need to sell our house. We're moving out of state. Blah, blah, blah. Wow. Wow. Wow, really? Do that 5 times. 5 times. That's all I want you to do it. Get into a routine of causing yourself success by taking steps that are uncomfortable. Because success is not easy. So that's what I want you to do Saturday, tomorrow, or any day of the week. Dial 5 people. Ask that question 5 times. And here it is again. Hi, my name is Michael Quarles. Don't say you're Michael Quarles, but whoever you are. Michael Quarles with I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses is because that's what you're telling them you do. But you're also with that. That's okay. You may have called yourself something else. Say, I buy houses. And we're looking for 3 and 4 bedroom homes in the neighborhood. Of course, you don't know where the neighborhood is. And we're wondering, who do you know that's looking to sell, looking to move? They're either going to say, click, F off, or I am, or I know somebody. It's okay. If they get mad at you, they say click, it's okay. They're not rejecting you. They're just not interested in what you have. It's all right. Okay? No's are okay. They're fine. People that don't live for no's are, to me, they're not living for the yes. Because if you won't accept the no, you cannot find the yes. So you have to go through the no's. It's all right. It's not going to hurt you. Talk to 5 strangers on the phone this weekend. Next thing I want you to do, and I want you to do this as much as you can physically do it. You're sitting there Saturday night, Sunday night, you're thinking, what am I going to do? What's on TV? What am I, whatever it is. I want you to go to the Craigslist. I want you to go to the newspaper online. I want you to find your peer group. People that say real estate investor somehow. Write down the bandit sign phone numbers. And I want you to start interacting with your peer group. You either find your bird dogs or you become a bird dog. I don't care. So you're either going to find the buyer of your wholesale deal or you're going to find the seller of your wholesale deal. I don't care. But do it on purpose. Hi, my name is Michael Quarles. I saw you had a bandit sign on the telephone pole on 1st and 2nd Street. Just call and see what kind of houses you're looking to buy, or are you a wholesaler or a signer that does that? Oh, you're an assigner, great. Do you have any inventory right now I can buy from you? Oh, you're looking to buy. What kind of inventory would you like to buy? Are you a cash buyer, term buyer, subject to buyer? How do you buy? Oh, you're brand new too. Hey, let's get together and, figure this out. Oh, you've been in the business for 10 years? Wow. What's it been like? Excite me. Tell me what it feels like to buy all those houses. Create conversations. Here's what I know. And it's absolutely another definite that I know. I know it like I know it, and I know it. Your best friend, you didn't know until you said hello. You didn't know them until you walked up to them, or they walked up to you, or somehow met them. Your best friend right now that you rely on in life, whether that's your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, or just a beer buddy, you didn't know them until you introduced yourself to them and said hello. Well, heck, maybe you would find your next best friend. Maybe you have to share your best friend duties now with 3 people or 2 people. It's okay. Just call them. Call your peer group. Man, find these people. Be a real estate investor. Next thing I want you to do is the last thing I want you to do. Not the last thing. I want you to listen to my next podcast too, if I haven't pissed you off so much. But the next thing I want you to do is I want you to practice to yourself, telling yourself you're a real estate investor. Hi, my name is Michael Quarles. I actually buy houses for a living. One of the nice things about my program is and what I love about what I do is I get to buy houses and help families that are going maybe through the inherited or probate process. I buy houses from divorcees that just need to sell. Houses from landlords that are just tired of dealing with their tenants. Maybe, I've dropped houses from people going, job transfers, all kinds of issues there. I bought some pretty houses and I bought a lot of ugly houses. And, one of the nice things is when a seller and I agree on the price, they get their money on the day of their choice. And I have found that is really what drives me. And by the way, do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell a house? Practice. Practice introducing yourself. Practice on yourself. Talking to yourself about what you do. Internalize it. I want you to know this like the ABCs. My coaching students are all laughing at me like right now because they all know that I say that all the time. But I want you to know your ABCs backwards like you know your ABCs forwards. I want you to know what you do and what you represent for our community and the power of helping people who have problems. I want you to know that's what you are, is you're a problem solver. You're the doctor of real estate. You're that emergency person when there's an emergency and someone needs you. That's what you are. But if you don't know it, they can't find you. Tell people what you do, but first tell yourself. Do not be that school teacher first. Be that investor first, school teacher second. Yes, you help my child go to school and learn what they need to learn. But what you do in life is buy and sell houses and help families who need help. You're that professional. You're not afraid to knock on a door of someone you don't know and say hello. You're not afraid to go to an open house. You're not afraid to make a cold call. You're not afraid to go someplace new and tell people what you do. That's what a guerrilla investor does. A guerrilla investor takes charge of their life and makes it happen. So this weekend, go buy a house. I don't care if you have any money. Go get one. Go do it. Get off the couch, people, and go buy a house. Until next time, you guys take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.